Hello, this is my video on biofuels, specifically bioethanol. So what is bioethanol? Bioethanol is a fuel mostly blended with gasoline to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and has replaced harmful additives in gasoline such as lead. It's biodegradable and far less toxic than fossil fuels. Bioethanol is mainly produced through fermentation utilizing crops such as corn. Corn, which is the most commonly used crop for bioethanol in the US, is grown and cultivated in large fields, large farms, and thus large quantities. The first step in bioethanol production is actually getting the plant material needed, which is mostly corn in the US because of its abundant supply. The second step in bioethanol production is breaking down the plant to collect the sugars needed to fuel alcohol fermentation. For corn, this is mainly done by simply grinding it into a fine powder, which enzymes and water are then added to convert starch into glucose. The third step is alcohol fermentation. The sugar solutions and yeast are added to sealed tanks, ensuring there is no oxygen present and thus ensuring fermentation occurs. In yeast fermentation, glycolysis occurs where glucose is broken down, producing two pyruvates, two ATP, and two NADH. Pyruvate then loses one CO2 to produce acetaldehyde. Finally, acetaldehyde is reduced to ethanol by NADH, which then the cycle repeats. Bioethanol is not a new thing. In fact, most modern cars in the US use E10, a mix of 90% gasoline and 10% ethanol, with some compatible vehicles able to use E15 up to E85, with E85 being 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline. The impact of bioethanol on the carbon footprint varies on the crop used and the energy used in the production process. However, bioethanol overall reduces carbon emissions by burning cleaner than pure gasoline, thus releasing less carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Bioethanol doesn't just help the environment, as seen in a 2023 study where the ethanol industry was observed to generate $54 billion in GDP and support around 400,000 jobs. The farming, transportation, and industrial aspects of bioethanol production is a boon to the economy. Bioethanol indeed has been communicated to the public through gas stations, the Renewable Fuel Standard, and groups such as the previously mentioned Renewable Fuels Association. Though bioethanol is used by most vehicles, it's only mainly used with E10. In order to allow bioethanol to have an even bigger impact on the carbon footprint, I recommend promoting vehicles that can use fuels of higher ethanol content like E15 up to E85. A plan of action would be to begin advertising bioethanol, manufacturing vehicles capable of utilizing E15 fuel and up, and funding further research. For this video, I used the following resources. Everything else was produced by me.